My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. I slowly sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently in healing. However, when I looked down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned, as if nothing had happened between me and Sam. I was just missing my ribbon. Before I turned to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied in a nice bow with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
Sorry, I went a little too far.
I stared at the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. That's what it says. I stared at the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. He went too far. I enjoyed it, despite the first-time circumstance. It was cute, though, to imagine him thanking me for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the note to chest. Alright, letting the memories of our meeting flood my mind.
I indulged myself too, Sam.
I looked at the time out of curiosity. The large white numbers on my phone showed 5:31 p.m.
Yikes! 4 hours of being knocked out and I still feel tired.
It was Sunday, so I was allowed to sleep longer if I wanted to. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but it felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good.
It's like the third time she said that.
I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly that next morning.
I woke up like this. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep?
I looked at my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm.
Well, hey, I must be lucky today.
Karma owed me some luck. After all I'd gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck.
Yeah, really.
Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text.
Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
Okay.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. Look, she's
Wait, hold up. So her dad kicks her out of the house, sends her to a mansion that's like in the middle of nowhere on the edge of the city, and doesn't give her a way to get to school in the morning?
You're not worth my bus money. That's what I just thought, is that the fact that she probably had to, like, walk to a bus stop that was probably miles away.
Like, seriously? This was some poor planning, Dad.
You know, and I wonder, what if, like, one of the boys was, like, a super runner, you know? He had, like, really fast legs, and we could just, like, ride him to school.
You mean Sam?
Can he do that?
They've been saying he's speedy as fuck.
Alright, well then Sam needs to let us
He
ride.
finished cleaning the front yard in a matter of seconds. When he was, like, bleeding on the floor at the start, he was up in a second, ready to assault us. Like, they've been saying he's the fast one.
Alright, we need to get a saddle then. I'm just saying it seems more efficient than bus money.
Jesus Christ.
Perfect! I can eat some breakfast before they come.
I packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and bacon sitting on the table. A fresh, steaming cup of coffee.
Yes!
Sat next to the plate with the sugar and creamer on the side.
Oh, even better.
I walked to the table and I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Who made this?
As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention.
Have a good day. Yours.
My heart skipped a beat as I finished. I could tell it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from
him.
I don't buy that. I don't buy it. I don't buy that Sam would do that.
I ain't buying what you're selling. I smiled before putting the note in my bag and eating up. The food was so delicious. I devoured every amazing bite. I looked at the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself out in the passing mirror. I wasn't looking to impress anyone, but I still need to look decent. Before I could reach the handle of the door.
Oh, Michaela.
Before I could reach door. However, someone took my hand.
Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand.
Huh?
I can't look at him.
He's like, where the fuck do you think you're going?
I turned to see Sam, who was holding my hand back with a stern look on his face.
My name.
Your name?
My true name isn't Sam. I want you to know my real name if something happens.
His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? I remembered reading about a demon's name from the journal I read yesterday. If you knew a demon's true name, you could summon them to you, no matter where you were or where they were.
Yeah, that's an actual thing from, like, folklore, is, like, if you know anything's true name, you have basically complete control over it.
Sam gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Almaris.
Almaris. That's a pretty name.
As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. Sam pulled away and stared at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
Yep, he looks super
He
worried.
looks so worried right now.
Definitely.
If you're in any danger, any time, it doesn't matter when, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I stared up at Sam, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. Sam nodded back before releasing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework in the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. As I walked towards Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite side of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward.
Look! Ow!
Well, fuck.
Hey, are you okay?
No.
Not really. Not really.
Who did that?
Who do
Who do you think, Naomi? Who always does it?
The three of us looked back to see Lizette and her gaggle of girls. Lizette had a look of complete innocence while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow.
Why, you little... Suzu, don't!
Suzu, dude.
Suzu, do!
I felt a giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lizette. Today was not the only time this had happened to me. However, it was clear now who was behind these incidents. Even if she was innocent and one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lizette was the mastermind just from the look on her face. She was no friend, nor would she ever be. I had to do something!
So the options are get her, glare into her soul, or stand up and walk away. Now last time, we glared into her soul and saw some weird, like, magic demonic bullshit happening there, and that was not explained in the Damien route.
That was never explained in the Damien route. I'm very upset about that.
But we know that's a thing. So I want to fight! Get her!
She had it coming! I had had enough!
Oh, shit!
I felt adrenaline rush through my body as I pounced off of the ground and rushed at Lisette.
Hold my flower, babe!
I was not going to be the only one with scrapes this time. I tackled Lisette to the ground, swiping and slapping her innocent face. Oh my god,
Holy shit! We're killing her!
It just keeps going!
It just keeps going!
She screamed in fright before trying to push me off and block my attacks because I was really vicious.
God damn!
Anderson,
More like, holy...
stop it!
No!
I wasn't listening anymore. I let my carnal need to get revenge take over as I began to pull at Lisette's hair to get better aim at her face. These sounds are still going. Like, we should have, like, either broken our knuckles by now or broken...
We should all just be unconscious at this point.
I began to pull at Lisette's hair to get better aim at her face with my free hand. I had enough of the bullying, the wounds, the insult. All of that was going to burn in the past as I scraped my nails and hand across Lisette's face over and over. Jesus.
Oh shit!
My rebellion would be marked on her pretty face for all to see.
Jesus Christ!
Okay, I still don't know what she did to us besides like, trip us every day. I'm kind of okay with beating up a bully. At the same time, I'm like...
Well, when they first described her, when we were introduced to her, they made it sound like she's been fucking us over since childhood, like from behind the scenes and stuff.
I want more backstory on this, though.
Yeah, I feel like this should be addressed. Like, what exactly has she done?
Lisette pushed me off and scrambled to her feet, both panicked and angry at the same time. Her emotion was nowhere close to the anger I was feeling.
Are you crazy? What the hell?
I stood up very slowly. What is that face? Jesus. I stood up very slowly, glaring daggers into Lisette's soul through her eyes. I must have had some sort of monster behind me. Or maybe I looked like the monster myself. But the baggle girls,
Yep.
Lisette, and even my friends had a look of pure terror on their faces. What if we have the demon behind us this time?
I've had enough of you, Lisette! You obviously won't stop unless I fight back. Well, guess what? You're gonna get it!
Oh shit! We're gonna keep going!
Laundry, don't fuck around.
Holy shit! Laundry, don't fuck around.
I charged Lisette a second time, shoving her hard against the lockers. She let out a yelp of pain as she smacked the back of her head against the metal ow behind her, before glaring and shoving me back. I stumbled back. Lisette raised her hands ready to fight.
That could have literally killed her. We just slammed the back of her head against hard metal.
Are we going to jail?
Then come on, Anderson.
Oh.
Show me what you've got. I bet it's not much.
How are you still up?
Big talk for someone who's getting the shit beat out of her.
I felt myself snarl in anger before raising my own fists, remembering my taekwondo. I quickly snapped onto one leg and raised a leg to get a swift kick at her head. She blocked with her arm and stepped towards to me to jab at me. She had training. Not surprising. I didn't care at that moment. I bent back away from the incoming jab, re-establishing my balance as I placed both feet on the floor. Lisette threw jab upon jab at me, forcing me to block my torso and face with my arms and hands. Hit for hit, Lisette and I exchanged and defended blows at each other. It was indeed more than just a cat fight. This was a vengeful duel. In my mind, all I saw was Lisette. Oh my god, these sounds are so distracting. I wanted to make her stop, and if that meant beating her down, then it had to be done. Sam is really having an influence on us. We eventually gained a small crowd of people, all silent but observing the fight. My anger intensified and my hits became harder with each second that passed between us. I couldn't let her win. I wouldn't let her win. None of Lisette's girls dared to step in, apparently afraid to after seeing our skill in our individual fighting styles. Susie was held back by Naomi's arm, despite both of them wanting to help me. They didn't wait long for it to end, though.
They didn't wait long? This has been going on for like several minutes. Oh my god!
Suddenly, Lisette was pulled away from me and I was pushed against the lockers by a strong force. Lisette hit the lockers as well on the opposite end of the hallway, letting out a girly grunt of pain.
Why couldn't we just say grunt of pain? Okay, whatever. Whatever!
What? Wait, did she have heterochromia?
She does have heterochromia.
Alright, they better explain that. I looked up to see my art teacher, Miss Gordon. Oh, that's who the Miss Gordon was in the credits.
Oh, okay.
I looked up to see my art teacher, Miss Gordon, holding me against the lockers with a look of surprise and serious concern on her face.
The other teacher just looks like barely concerned at all.
Miss Anderson, what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Shut up. Get out. Oh my god. I looked to see Lisette being held back by Mrs. Phillips, starting to cry innocently. I knew it was going to come out of her mouth, so I tried to push Miss Gordon off me to confront her. Miss Gordon, however, kept an arm wrapped around me, keeping me back.
No! Don't you dare start crying, Lisette! You started this!
Miss Anderson, get a hold of yourself!
No! What is wrong with you? What did I ever do to you?
Before this exact moment, I couldn't stop the angry tears running down my face as I shouted across the hallway. Lisette and Mrs. Phillips stared in shock as I screamed as Miss Gordon tightened her hold on me.
I am so sick of it! Leave me alone!
Eventually, I lost my energy and began to weigh down on Miss Gordon's arms, letting my sadness take over and quench my anger with tears and swelling pain. I could feel Miss Gordon hug me to keep me upright as Lisette sniffled and confided with Miss Phillips. Shut up, Lisette.
I didn't do anything to her. She just attacked me all of a sudden.
Right, I'm sure teachers are gonna believe that.
That's a lie, Lisette. You tripped her on purpose. You've always been a snobby prick to us.
Never! I gave my condolences about her grandfather's death. I try to keep everyone calm. Is that so wrong?
I hate you so much.
You didn't even sound sincere. We know you were only pretending to be nice to spite us.
Enough. Miss White, follow me to the dean's office.
Lisette followed, wiping her eyes in the feigned innocence she knew how to play up. I remained still in Miss Gordon's arms. Oh, now she's Mrs. Gordon, unable to bring myself to fight to get at Lisette again. I had done my damage. The gaggle of Lisette wannabes would make sure I became infamous around the school. I didn't care. I made my statement on Lisette's face and body, and I wasn't afraid to do it again. Miss Gordon, however, wasn't done with me.
Come with me, sweetie.
I nodded and followed. My friends frowned as they watched me leave, but they headed to class without me. Miss Gordon led me to an empty classroom, which she had claimed as hers. It looked like all of the other classrooms, but art posters lined the walls. Many students loved the room, but hated one thing: the mirror in the very back of the room. It was the one thing Miss Gordon loved to use against her students. With it, she was able to see who was using their phones and who was actually studying. Miss Gordon led me to the back of the room and sat me down in front of it.
What do you see?
You and me and all other people with nothing to do, nothing to lose.
That's some interesting anatomy.
Huh?
Tell me what you see.
I looked in the mirror and saw myself. My clothes were a little ruffled from the fight. Beyond that, I just saw me.
Wait, so we scratched Lisette's face, left her with so many injuries, and we're just spotless.
I see myself.
All right. What else?
What else? I don't understand.
Do you know what I see?
No.
Disney emotional bullshit?
I see a brilliant woman who has been working her butt off to try and find herself. She just has a little bit of adversity in her way.
What do you even know about me, lady?
Well, for one, that we're basically a millionaire.
What does this have to do with what happened with Lisette?
Listen, don't think about Lisette right now. She's just another student who doesn't know what you're going through.
Alright, I'm really confused as to why we're just being allowed to sit here and talk and why we weren't dragged to the principal's office as well.
You had background noise in your recording, lady. I heard that.
Don't think I didn't hear that.
I stared at myself in the mirror, unable to tear my eyes away. She was right, but I still lingered on what happened with Lisette. I know Miss Gordon was only trying to help, but I couldn't fight the thoughts in my head. Miss Gordon gently rubbed my shoulders, snapping me from my thoughts. I looked up to see her smile down at me through the mirror.
You know, those were some pretty interesting moves. Taekwondo?
Yeah.
You'll have to show me one day.
I laughed as she hugged me gently.
Look, don't let Lisette get to you, okay? You have your own battles to face, and you can face them just fine. Instead of fighting Lisette, focus on your goals.
I'd be able to if Lisette weren't trying to provoke me constantly.
Why are your eyes different colors?
Yeah, are you magic too?
I looked up at her and nodded slightly. It was cliché to hear, but she was telling the truth. I needed to focus on myself first. She gave me a small packet of tissues and told me that she would handle Lisette. The fear about my family learning of this that had quickly appeared had vanished when she promised to keep me out of it as much as she could. How? How do you keep us out of it when we, destroyed her face? I'm all for us beating up Lisette. This seems highly suspect to me that nobody is, giving us any shit about it.
Yeah, usually when girls defend themselves in school, we end up suspended or something.
It would be nice to happen in real life, but at the same time, from a teacher's perspective, they're still gonna be like, you beat the
You
fuck
still
out of
did technically assault a kid.
Everything will be fine now. You're a good student, so I'll let you off with a severe warning. Just don't get into any more fights, okay? Now, head to class.
Have you noticed that her earrings match her eyes but are flipped?
Why? I want the answers! Who are you? I nodded before heading to class. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to my classes, had lunch, and was anxious to get home.